It looks like the only woman who really matter in Swaziland is in the Kati. When I look at it, women in Swaziland's rights, women's rights in Swaziland are really not recognized. And women in Swaziland, I told you in my previous video that they are very beautiful women, women who do anything for their husbands, women who are very, 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 very submissive, really respect their husbands by all means. But they are not stupid. I told you that they are eloquent, very educated, and can really take a discussion on any subject, and yet can really bring themselves very low. They are very humble. They are full of humility. Now, what I fail to understand is why the Queen Mother is the only important woman in Swaziland. When we are talking about women and women's rights, or rather taking care of women, we are talking care only of the Queen Mother, Makositwe's mother. Is she the only woman who is really worth, who is really more important than any other woman in Swaziland? I really beg to differ, because Swaziland has got so many women. Some of them have done a lot, contributed a lot for their families, more than the Queen Mother has done. She was actually discharged from hospital there in South Africa, where she was being treated. After a lot of speculation from people and a lot of doubts of whereabouts, some people thinking that maybe she was flown to Taiwan for further medical treatment. Then she was actually, there are reports, verified reports, that she came back to Swaziland. She was flown back to Swaziland. And when she came back to Swaziland like this, I feel that she should feel ashamed as a mother to have a nation that really anticipated and would have celebrated her death if she had died. It shows the degree and magnitude and depth of a failure. She has failed as a mother, because if you are a mother and your children are wishing that you die, you are not actually a mother to them. You have failed as a mother, and usually maybe you are just you are just a monster to them, because it is rare for children to celebrate the death of their own mother. And in Swaziland, people were very excited to hear that the Queen Mother was dead and wished her death, nothing short of death. So as a mother, I think when she comes back like this, she should come back in a different spirit, with a different conviction. If she watched this news, and if she could go on social media and would have seen some of these things which could have killed her more than the disease that she was suffering from, she should come back in a different fighting spirit. Because if she comes back wearing the same gown that she was wearing the same spirit that she was wearing, with the same kind of conviction that she had, then maybe people would wish her dead. Maybe from their wishes she might even die, because so strong are their wishes that she might just die from them. Seriously, she needs to change, because Makositwe is plundering the country, and while she's cheering him up. And that's where she goes wrong. We know Makositwe sometimes can be a man who is just single-minded, but as a mother herself, she is in a strong position to really stand against him and fight against him and tell him that he has failed and he should stop this and make sure that he looks after the welfare of his own people and protect the welfare of his own people, instead of just self-gratification, which is the way Makositwe has been living his life all along for a very long time now. She needs to really castigate him like a mother should do, to protect all the children in Swaziland who stand there as the children and regard her as the mother, and only fail to see her the mother because she's failing to see them as children. How can you assume wear such airs of importance when you can't look after your own kids? Because when you look at all her pictures, all the videos, she assumes an air of importance, like she's doing something there in Swaziland, when actually she's not doing anything. She's just, dark-hearted. Because a mother is never like that. as we celebrated Women's Day when she was coming back, we could see that she doesn't, identify with most of the women, most of the mothers that we know. Which is why the Swazi people were celebrating. And now we are going to see a lot of long faces in Swaziland. A lot of people are going to be very disappointed or have been very disappointed by it. Sudden news that she is still alive and she's coming back home. Like a prisoner, like a convict. A murderer who has been convicted of murder and suddenly prematurely is being released from prison. That's how they feel about her coming back. That's how they feel about her homecoming. It's pathetic. For a woman to really be regarded in such fashion by her own people, by her own children. Now I've said too much about the mother. I didn't intend to say too much about her. What I wanted to say was about the ladies who are going to the court, who always go to give support to Bakrede and his fellow incarcerate there at the court. When she's back in Swaziland, I know people were celebrating Women's Rights, International Women's Day. It would have been very nice to have her coming back at a time like that. But knowing as I know the Queen Mother only cares about herself. Because I think she could have, although sometimes we think that because Makosi Tibe is a single-minded man who only thinks what he thinks is very important and doesn't even consider the suggestion or the input or the advice of any lady, even his own mother. We think that she could have been hard on him. And maybe standing by him, supporting him, and being in parliament when important decisions are being made, and then saying nothing about the suffering of the common people. I think it's a weakness that most women don't have. Most women, as we know them, even animals, even lions, even cows, even hens, even birds, they fight for their young ones. They fight bravely. They fight with complete disregard of their own welfare, of their own health, of their whether they are injured or not. I think that is how the Queen Mother should have fought. Now having her coming back down from South Africa, having been cured and now back again just to do nothing there in the royal house, really makes her look so insignificant and so of no importance to the common people of Swaziland. And the very people who are supposed to be regarded as important people, we have people like Chief Mlotjwa talking about them like, belittling them. Rather saying some very nasty, labeling them with some very nasty terms that I can't even repeat here on my video. A chief is supposed to be someone who understands the role of a woman, that a woman is the person who brings all other human beings here on earth. That is the role of women. And you can't belittle them. And with the changing attitude towards women, I think Swaziland, they can only be taking this attitude from Makosi Tibe himself, because Makosi Tibe doesn't see women as important. Because if you parade, like I said in the previous video, if you parade women like pieces of furniture before a person and then he has to make a pick with complete disregard of whether the person is picking, he doesn't regard. I know one of the ladies he really abducted after she had expressed her own dissent, or she had expressed her own dislike of the situation of this way of getting married, and he ended up abducting her, and she ended up submitting at the end. Like I say, Swaziland women are very submissive. She ended up submitting and just being his wife. He thinks that women have no say. Women are just tools that are to be used by men to meet certain ends, maybe for sexual gratification, and maybe it's just for display purposes. And they are not important. They can't make any contribution in anyone's life. And this is where Chief Mlotjwa is taking all this from. And is calling women names, suggesting that they are poor, useless women. And everyone is watching while this thing say, and he swore. I saw that king. He swore that even if the comrades kill him, he will stand and say this. He doesn't care whether he's killed for saying it or not. Which seems that he's a man who is a man of conviction. He has a lot of belief in what he's saying. That women of Kalimba are useless women, simply because they go every day to support their MP Bakede, in this case against the government. So you can see that generally in Swaziland the attitudes have to change, because women, when you insult a woman, someone was writing, I think it is Martin was saying, if you insult someone's wife, if you, let us say you beat someone's wife, you are waiting to fight another battle again, because you can't just beat another person's wife and then you think it's over. The husband is coming and is coming in for a fight. I think people should really teach him a lesson, this Chief Mlotjwa, because women are very important in our lives. They are equals, actually. I don't know how I can stress that. Women have become equals, with equal status, equal importance, equal everything. And for Chief Mlotjwa to come with these backward, ancient, and retrogressive ideas about women, and then trying to spit them out at a time when people are just trying to give moral support, because that's all the ladies can give. And usually this really works in terms of morale of the people who are imprisoned or incarcerated. It's a really very important thing that they are there just giving the moral support. Then he insults them like this. It's a very serious thing, and this chief should not get away with this. People should just teach him a few things, because we can't stand in this world to have our women insulted by a stupid person who is maybe, whose ideas cannot really cannot travel with the time. We can't stand to hear that. And I repeat that this kind of attitude is coming from people like Mswati himself, and it will never end until maybe some of these archaic traditions are uprooted. Because as long as they are there, people think they have some justification in the exploiting women or saying nasty things against women, things that maybe in other countries can never be uttered, and then you can get away with it. In other countries, he will be asked to resign right now from his whatever, as a chief. He would be asked or forced to resign, and he could have resigned already. But now that in Swaziland this cannot happen, maybe we must find other ways of making sure that he really pays back for what he says, because this kind of attitude, if it is repeated again and again, really will make the situation worse for women in Swaziland. And as I told you that because I'm married to a Swazi myself, I know what kind of ladies they are. Very sweet, very everything. They can take care of you like you are their son. You might be their husband, take care of you. It looks like they were trained to take care of their families. And yet, this is all the thanks that we give to these ladies, really. We thank them like this by saying these nasty utterances. It's a very bad, when we hear these things, that's when we realize the justification of fighting for democracy in Swaziland, and making sure that we get rid of these things and maybe have a constitution where the rights of women are really enshrined and are protected, and they can stand on their own and fight, while the constitution also defends them, because they are not weak women. There might be women who really want their families to be together and really their families to be progressive, but they are not weak, which is why they go every time there is a hearing at the court there. Every time. It's not easy. How many people? Some of people are already tired. Some have stopped going. But these women are insulted because they are still going. And he's irritated because of that. The resilience that is in this woman irritates him. Surely society needs to make some kind of punishment of individuals who really think they are superhuman, they are superior to women simply because they are men. merely chauvinistic pigs. They need to be really teach a lesson. They need to be taught a lesson. Seriously, this really made me a bit. It made me not a bit, a lot angry, because it's a bad thing to say to women who have got a cause that is so important. What is this motive anyway? To make sure that they don't go and this incarcerated, their MP doesn't receive any form of support, and then what? Then it's just they just continue to be in. I mean, they continue to be imprisoned for crimes that we know that they didn't commit. This is just something that is just also very unfair. That's what he wants in the end, and he will be happy to see such a scenario existing. I will speak again to the women of Swaziland. Now I heard that Swangile said she didn't want to go for Isibai, and I like women who stand strongly for their principles. I'm going to make a video on whether people should attend Isibai or not. My views, it's not telling people what to do. I'll just tell you my viewpoint and tell you what I think and give you reasons. That is what people in a progressive society really do. You just represent your views, make a representation, and make sure that they are strong. If they are strong, then people will follow them. If they are weak, then people have got a choice not to follow them, because they say, "Why? How can we follow this?" I have my own opinion on that, because this period is coming. This period in Swaziland is coming when there has to be a dialogue, and people need to really make a decision whether Pudemo used to be standing for this position, saying people should attend, and people used to call them sellouts. So say people should attend Isibaya. But maybe I said I'll put up a video. That's my next video. In a day or two, I'll make a video on that. But as for now, really let us condemn this king with all the anger and indignation he really deserves. And I think he should not serve as a king anymore, as a chief anymore. He doesn't deserve it. And I want to thank Swaziland women for being the women that they are. Perfect women. You can't find any woman of the nature of Swazi women anywhere around the world. They are a special kind, a special breed. And nobody should really insult them in the manner in which this king has insulted them. It makes a lot of men like us, many other men in Swaziland, very mad, very angry. And when men get angry, you will have it coming. And I think this king should have it coming. And he really deserves everything that he'll get. From whatever angle, by whatever means, he really will deserve whatever it is that he'll get. He must never get away with it. Poor, useless women, really, why do you have to call them that? Poor, hungry women. Hungry. If you really don't feed your own wife, you think every woman out there is hungry. That's so sad. This is We Africa. Please subscribe to the channel, please. I have my second video coming on Isibaya, please. Subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends. Share this video with your friends. And I want to see your comments. Let us discuss this issue, which is so pertinent in Swaziland at the moment. Everyone discussing this. Remember, from a very previous incident again that we were talking about, where a lady was assaulted or manhandled or physically assaulted by the police for wearing what she wanted. We are coming to other incidents where chief is saying something. What is it with the Swazi men actually? Or with some Swazi, some elements of the Swazi society? What is it? What is happening? These are the people, I think these are the bootlickers for the king who are trying to show that they are standing with the king and his foolish traditions. The incidents of women are so many these days. The abuse of their rights, their rights are being infringed on, and it's getting worse. Maybe some people who just hate this fight for democracy, just they just find women as the weakest link, and then they just start attacking them for no particular reason, because they think women are the weakest link. No, they are not. And by fighting them like this, you are making them even stronger. They are strong. They will even be stronger. Thank you so much. Let me stop here, otherwise I'll keep on talking.